What if a single sentence spoken with the right intention and energy could flip your financial reality overnight, unlocking doors of opportunity you never knew existed? This question immediately captures attention by introducing a powerful idea that just one sentence, when spoken correctly, can transform your connection with wealth. It sparks curiosity while suggesting that abundance isn't about luck or endless hard work. It's about the alignment of your words, thoughts, and energy. It plants a seed of possibility, making you wonder how something so simple could carry such incredible power. People are naturally drawn to transformation that feels both mysterious and attainable. The thought that wealth could begin with a few intentional words feels liberating and deeply empowering. It shifts your focus from struggle to energy, from effort to alignment, opening the mind to a new way of attracting prosperity. In this video, you will learn how to use this powerful sentence to reprogram your mindset, activate the frequency of abundance, and magnetize opportunities effortlessly. You'll discover why your words shape your financial reality, how to speak them with conviction, and the best way to harness this practice daily for real, lasting results. By the end, you won't just understand the secret, you'll know exactly how to use it to draw massive wealth into your life with ease and confidence. There is a sentence so powerful, so aligned with the infinite intelligence that governs all of creation, that when spoken with conviction, with feeling, with absolute faith in its truth, it begins to rearrange the very molecules of your financial reality. And this sentence is not a magic incantation. It is not a trick or a gimmick. It is a scientific, spiritual principle wrapped in words, a key that unlocks the treasure house of infinite abundance that already exists within your own subconscious mind. And the sentence is this: I am a magnet for money. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources, and I now decree that this is true in my life. You see, most people do not understand that words are not merely sounds that disappear into the air. Words are creative forces. Words are containers of consciousness. And when you speak words with emotion, but with belief, with the full agreement of your conscious and subconscious mind, you are impressing upon the deeper levels of your being a pattern, a blueprint, a mold into which the substance of the universe must pour itself. For this is law. This is the way creation works, and it works for everyone who learns to use it correctly. The moment you say with feeling, I am a magnet for money, you are claiming your divine inheritance. You are announcing to the universe and to your own subconscious mind that you are no longer operating under the old program of lack and limitation. You are no longer accepting poverty consciousness as your reality. You are now identifying yourself with wealth, with abundance, with the infinite riches that flow through all of life, and your subconscious mind, which is connected to the universal mind, begins immediately to accept this new idea and to work day and night to bring it into manifestation in your outer world. A woman once told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been saying affirmations for years, but nothing ever happened. And when he asked her how she was saying them, she admitted that she spoke the words mechanically, without feeling, almost as if she were reciting a grocery list. And he explained to her that this is like getting into a taxi and telling the driver your destination, but speaking so quietly and without conviction that the driver doesn't hear you or believe you really want to go there, and naturally the taxi never moves. The power is not in the words alone. The power is in the feeling, in the faith, in the absolute conviction with which you unite your conscious desire with the creative power of your subconscious mind. When you speak this powerful sentence, I am a magnet for money. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources. You must speak it as though it is already true. You must feel it in your bones. You must let the words penetrate deep into the emotional center of your being. Because your subconscious mind does not respond to empty words. It responds to feeling. It responds to conviction. It responds to the images and emotions that accompany your declarations. And this is why so many people fail with affirmations. They repeat words over and over like parrots without ever truly believing what they are saying, without ever generating the feeling of wealth within themselves. And the subconscious mind, which is entirely subjective and accepts only what is felt to be true, simply ignores these hollow repetitions. You must understand that your subconscious mind is like soil, rich and fertile, capable of growing anything you plant in it. But you cannot simply throw seeds on top of the ground and expect a harvest. You must plant the seed deep, you must water it with emotion, you must tend it with faith, and then the soil will do what soil always does. It will accept the seed and bring forth after its kind, for this is the law of mind, the law of belief, the law that has operated since the beginning of time and will continue to operate forever. A man once came to Dr. Joseph Murphy and said that he had tried everything to improve his finances, but nothing worked. And Dr. Murphy asked him what he truly believed about money. And the man admitted that deep down he believed money was hard to get, that rich people were greedy, that he didn't deserve wealth. And Dr. Murphy explained that this was the real seed he had been planting in his subconscious mind, not the affirmations he was repeating on the surface, but the deep beliefs he held in his heart, and those beliefs were creating his financial reality with absolute precision. Your subconscious mind is always working, always creating, always bringing into your life the exact equivalent of your dominant thoughts and feelings. And if your dominant feeling is one of lack, of struggle, of unworthiness, then no amount of surface affirmations will change your condition. But if you can change your inner feeling, if you can truly feel wealthy, if you can truly believe that you are a magnet for money, then your outer circumstances must change to match your inner state. For this is law. Now let us go deeper into the mechanism by which this sentence transforms your financial reality, because when you say, "I am a magnet for money," you are doing something very specific. You are identifying yourself with the principle of attraction. You are claiming that you possess a magnetic quality that draws wealth to you, and in the invisible realm of mind and spirit, this is absolutely true. For consciousness is magnetic, thought is magnetic, feeling is magnetic, and whatever you dwell upon in your mind with feeling and conviction, you attract into your experience. The universe operates on the principle of correspondence, which means that your outer world must correspond to your inner world. Your circumstances must match your consciousness. And if you change your consciousness, your circumstances must change. This is not a theory, this is not wishful thinking. This is immutable law, and it operates with the same precision as the law of gravity or the law of mathematics. When you declare that money flows to you easily and effortlessly, you are rejecting the false belief that wealth requires struggle, strain, and hardship. You are reprogramming your subconscious mind to accept the truth that abundance is natural, that the universe is not a place of scarcity, but a place of infinite supply, and that you have every right to tap into this supply. There are people who work themselves to exhaustion and remain poor, and there are people who seem to attract money with ease, and the difference is not in their external efforts, but in their internal beliefs, in the patterns impressed upon their subconscious minds. For the subconscious mind is the connecting link between your individual consciousness and the universal consciousness that contains all wealth, all resources, all possibilities. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been poor all her life and believed she was destined to remain poor. And he explained to her that destiny is not something written in the stars. Destiny is something you write in your own mind every single day with your thoughts and beliefs. And if she would change her belief from poverty to prosperity, her destiny would change accordingly, and she began to repeat to herself many times a day, "I am a magnet for money. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly." And within 6 months, her entire financial situation had transformed. The phrase "from expected and unexpected sources" is crucial because it removes limitations from your consciousness. It tells your subconscious mind that you are not limiting the channels through which abundance can reach you. You are not saying money can only come from my job or money can only come from one source. You are opening yourself to infinite possibilities, to channels you have never imagined, and to opportunities that do not yet exist in your present awareness. And this is how miracles happen in the financial realm, not because the laws of the universe are suspended, but because your consciousness has expanded to receive from the infinite storehouse that is always available. Your subconscious mind knows ways to prosper you that your conscious mind cannot conceive. It has access to infinite intelligence, to the wisdom that governs all creation, and when you impress upon it the idea that money flows to you from all directions, from expected and unexpected sources, you give it permission to work in ways that transcend your limited human reasoning. You must learn to trust this deeper mind, to rely upon it, to know that it is always working for your benefit when you give it the right instructions. And the right instructions are not complicated. They are simply clear declarations of what you desire, spoken with feeling, repeated with faith, accepted as true in your heart. A man once told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had a good job but never seemed to have enough money no matter how much he earned. And Dr. Murphy asked him what he said to himself about money, and the man admitted that he constantly said things like, "Money slips through my fingers, I can never get ahead, there's never enough." And Dr. Murphy showed him that these were the instructions he was giving to his subconscious mind. These were the patterns he was creating, and his subconscious mind, being perfectly obedient, was bringing these patterns into manifestation. And when the man changed his self-talk, when he began to affirm that money flows to him and multiplies in his hands, his experience changed, not because the outer world changed, but because his consciousness changed, and the outer world rearranged itself to match. You must say this sentence: I am a magnet for money. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources at least twice a day, once in the morning upon waking and once at night before sleep. Because these are the times when your subconscious mind is most receptive, most open to suggestion, most ready to accept new patterns and beliefs. And in these twilight states between waking and sleeping, the critical faculty of your conscious mind is relaxed. The gatekeeper is drowsy, and your words can slip past the defenses and objections and doubts and impress themselves directly upon the deeper mind. In the morning, before the concerns and worries of the day have cluttered your consciousness, you plant the seed of prosperity. You set the tone for your entire day. You align yourself with the flow of abundance, and as you go about your activities, your subconscious mind is working beneath the surface to arrange circumstances, to attract opportunities, to guide you toward people and situations that will increase your wealth. At night, before sleep, you impress the same idea upon your subconscious mind, and then you release it. You let it go. You trust that while your body sleeps, your deeper mind is working, creating, attracting, manifesting. For the subconscious never sleeps. It is always active, always productive, always bringing into form the beliefs and feelings you have accepted as true. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had tried nighttime affirmations, but found her mind wandering or falling asleep before she could finish. And he told her that this was actually perfect, that falling asleep while affirming prosperity was ideal because the last thoughts before sleep sink deepest into the subconscious mind. They become the dominant impression, and even if you drift off mid-sentence, the feeling and intention you have established will continue to work throughout the night, weaving themselves into the fabric of your consciousness. The word decree in the sentence, "I now decree that this is true in my life," is not casual. It is not decorative. It is a word of power, a word of authority, a word that announces you are not begging, you are not hoping, you are not wishing, you are declaring, you are claiming, you are accepting your good as already done. For to decree a thing is to establish it in consciousness, to settle it in mind, and to remove all doubt and hesitation, and to stand firm in the knowledge that what you have spoken must come to pass. In ancient times, kings and rulers issued decrees, and these decrees had the force of law. They were not suggestions or requests. They were commands that reshaped reality. And you are the king. You are the ruler of your own mental and emotional kingdom. And when you decree prosperity, when you decree that money flows to you, when you decree that abundance is your natural state, you are exercising your divine authority over your own experience. Your subconscious mind responds to authority. It responds to decisiveness. It responds to certainty. And when you waver, when you doubt, when you affirm one moment and deny the next, you confuse the subconscious. You send mixed signals. You plant seeds and then immediately uproot them. And nothing can grow in such soil. But when you decree with finality, when you say this is true in my life and you mean it, when you feel it, when you accept it without reservation, the subconscious mind says yes and begins immediately to make it so. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been affirming prosperity for months, but still felt uncertain, still wondered if it would really work. And Dr. Murphy explained that this uncertainty was the very thing blocking his demonstration, that he was affirming with one breath and denying with the next, and that he must come to a place of decision, a place of commitment, a place where he stakes his claim and refuses to be moved. And the moment he reached that place of inner conviction, his outer circumstances began to shift. When you speak this powerful sentence, you must also cultivate the feeling of already being wealthy. You must practice feeling prosperous even before the money appears in your bank account. Because feeling is the secret. Feeling is the creative power. Feeling is what impresses the subconscious mind and sets the law of attraction in motion. You cannot feel poor and attract wealth. You cannot feel lack and manifest abundance. You cannot vibrate at the frequency of scarcity and expect to receive prosperity. For like attracts like. Consciousness attracts its correspondence. And if you want to change what you are attracting, you must change how you are feeling. This does not mean you pretend your bills do not exist or ignore your current circumstances. It means you refuse to let your current circumstances dictate your inner state. You refuse to let temporary conditions determine your permanent identity. You choose to feel wealthy because you understand that wealth is first a state of consciousness before it is a state of your bank account. How do you feel wealthy when your senses tell you otherwise? How do you generate the feeling of abundance when your wallet is empty? You do it by entering into the spirit of what you desire, by imagining how you would feel if you already had the money you are seeking, by dwelling on that feeling, by returning to that feeling throughout the day, by making that feeling familiar, natural, habitual. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she could not feel wealthy because she had too many bills and not enough income, and he asked her if she had ever received a large sum of money, if she had ever felt the relief and joy of financial freedom even for a moment. And she remembered a time when she had received an unexpected bonus. And he told her to recall that feeling every day, to relive it, to make it real in her imagination. And as she did this consistently, her financial situation began to improve because she was no longer vibrating at the frequency of lack. She was vibrating at the frequency of abundance. The repetition of this powerful sentence is not mindless. It is not mechanical. It is a spiritual discipline, a form of prayer, a method of impressing the subconscious mind with a new pattern. And repetition is necessary because your old beliefs about money have been repeated thousands of times. They have been reinforced by years of conditioning, by family attitudes, by social programming, made by your own past experiences. And these old beliefs have created deep grooves in your consciousness, pathways that your thoughts automatically follow. And to create new pathways, to establish new beliefs, you must repeat your new truth until it becomes more familiar, more natural, more believable than the old lie. Every time you say, "I am a magnet for money," you are weakening the old pattern and strengthening the new pattern. You are dismantling the structure of lack and building the structure of abundance. You are reconditioning your mind, reprogramming your consciousness, reshaping your identity. And this takes time. This takes consistency. This takes persistence. But it works. It always works. It has worked for thousands of people who have applied this principle with faith and feeling. You would not expect to plant a seed today and have a tree tomorrow. You understand that growth takes time, that there is a gestation period, that the seed must be given time to germinate and push through the soil and develop roots and branches. And the same is true with mental and spiritual seeds. They require time to grow, time to develop, time to manifest in the physical realm. And during this time, you must not dig up the seed to see if it is growing. You must not doubt. You must not abandon your practice just because you do not see immediate results. You must continue to water the seed with your affirmations, continue to nourish it with your faith. Continue to protect it from the weeds of negative thinking. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been affirming prosperity for 2 weeks and nothing had happened. And Dr. Murphy asked him if he would plant corn and then complain after 2 weeks that there was no harvest. And the man understood that he had been impatient, that he had been looking at the calendar instead of trusting the process. And when he continued his practice with patience and faith, his financial breakthrough came. There is a biblical principle that says to him that hath shall be given, and from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And this seems cruel and unjust on the surface, but it is actually describing the law of consciousness, the law of attraction, the principle that your mental attitude determines what you attract. And if you have a consciousness of abundance, if you feel wealthy, if you think prosperous thoughts, then more abundance flows to you. And if you have a consciousness of lack, if you feel poor, if you think thoughts of limitation, then even the little you have seems to slip away. This is why rich people often become richer and poor people often remain poor, not because the universe is unfair, but because consciousness reproduces itself. Wealth consciousness attracts more wealth, poverty consciousness attracts more poverty. And the only way to break the cycle of poverty is to change your consciousness, to develop within yourself the feeling and belief of abundance, regardless of your current circumstances. When you say, "I am a magnet for money," you are declaring that you have. You are claiming the consciousness of wealth. You are identifying yourself with abundance, and according to spiritual law, to you who have this consciousness, more shall be given. You are not waiting for money to come before you feel wealthy. You are feeling wealthy first. You are being wealthy in consciousness, and then the money must follow, for the outer always follows the inner. The visible always manifests from the invisible, and what you are in mind you become in manifestation. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that this seemed backwards, that it seemed logical to feel wealthy after the money came rather than before. And he explained to her that this is precisely why most people remain in lack. They are waiting for conditions to change before they change their feeling. But the law works the opposite way. You must change your feeling first, and then conditions will change to match your new feeling. You must be the change you wish to see. You must embody, in consciousness, what you desire to experience in reality. Your subconscious mind does not judge whether your thoughts are good or bad, wise or foolish, true or false. It simply accepts what you impress upon it and proceeds to create the corresponding conditions in your life. And this is both a blessing and a responsibility. For it means you have complete control over your experience through the control of your thoughts and feelings, but it also means you cannot blame anyone else for your financial situation. You cannot claim to be a victim of circumstances when you are the creator of your circumstances through the use or misuse of your mental powers. If you constantly think thoughts of poverty, if you constantly speak words of lack, if you constantly feel the emotion of insufficiency, then your subconscious mind will faithfully create poverty, lack, and insufficiency in your outer world, not because it wants to punish you, but because it is doing exactly what you have instructed it to do. But when you take responsibility for your consciousness, when you deliberately choose thoughts of prosperity, when you intentionally speak words of abundance, when you consistently feel the emotion of wealth, your subconscious mind will just as faithfully create prosperity, abundance, and wealth in your outer world. For it is neutral, it is impersonal, it responds to the pattern you give it with absolute precision. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he felt like his life was controlled by forces beyond himself, by the economy, by his boss, by his circumstances. And Dr. Murphy told him that while these external factors exist, they have no power over him except the power he gives them through his own consciousness, that his reaction to circumstances is what creates his experience, not the circumstances themselves, and that by changing his inner world, he could change his outer world, regardless of what was happening around him. And when the man grasped this truth, when he understood that he was the author of his own experience, he stopped feeling like a victim and started feeling like a creator. The sentence, "I am a magnet for money," contains the word "I am," and these two words are the most powerful words in any language because they define your identity. They declare what you are. They establish your being, and whatever follows "I am" becomes your reality. When you say, "I am a magnet for money," you are not describing a hope or a wish. You are declaring a truth about your identity. You are claiming your nature as an attractor of wealth. You are establishing in consciousness that drawing money to you is simply what you do, who you are, the natural expression of your being. In the Bible, when Moses asked God for his name, God replied, "I am that I am," which means pure being, existence itself, consciousness without limitation, and this same "I am" dwells in you. This same creative power operates through you, and whatever you attach to your "I am" statement becomes your experience. For "I am" is the name of God within you, the creative principle, the power that brings things into manifestation. If you say, "I am poor," you are using this divine power to create poverty. If you say, "I am struggling," you are using this power to create struggle. If you say, "I am unlucky," you are using this power to create bad luck. But if you say, "I am a magnet for money," if you say, "I am prosperous," if you say, "I am blessed," you are using this same power to create wealth, prosperity, and blessing. Be very careful what you place after the words "I am," for you are announcing to the universe and to your subconscious mind what you choose to experience. You are setting the mold into which reality must pour itself. You are defining the limits or the limitlessness of your life. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she constantly said things like, "I am so broke, I am always struggling, I am terrible with money." And Dr. Murphy explained that these "I am" statements were binding her to poverty. They were creating an identity of lack, and that she must immediately stop using "I am" in negative ways and begin to use it only to affirm what she desired to be true. And when she changed her "I am" statements, her entire financial identity transformed. Money is not evil. Money is not the root of all evil. Money is neutral. Money is energy. Money is a medium of exchange. Money is a tool. And the love of money, the worship of money, the hoarding of money for its own sake, this is what causes problems. But money itself is good when used wisely. And you have every right to prosper, every right to be wealthy, every right to live in abundance. For God, infinite intelligence, universal mind, whatever name you use for the creative power of the universe, this power desires your prosperity, desires your happiness, desires your success, for it is the nature of life to expand, to grow, to express more fully. And poverty is a contradiction of life. Lack is a denial of the infinite abundance that flows through all creation. When you affirm, "I am a magnet for money," you are not being greedy, you are not being materialistic, you are simply claiming your divine inheritance. You are accepting the natural flow of prosperity that is your birthright as a child of the infinite. And there is no virtue in poverty, no spirituality in lack, no holiness in suffering. These are false beliefs that have been used to keep people submissive and small, but the truth is that you are meant to prosper. You are designed for abundance. You are created to express the riches of the universe in and through your life. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he felt guilty about wanting money, that he had been taught that spiritual people should not care about material things. And Dr. Murphy asked him if he thought God wanted him to be poor, if he thought the creator of the universe that made everything beautiful and abundant intended for his children to live in lack. And the man realized that his guilt was based on false teaching, that there is no conflict between spirituality and prosperity, that in fact, true spirituality naturally leads to prosperity because it connects you with the source of all supply. You must become conscious of money. You must think about money in positive and constructive ways. You must develop a prosperity consciousness. And this does not mean you become obsessed with money or worship money. It means you recognize money as a good thing, as a useful thing, as something that allows you to live more fully, to help others more effectively, to express your gifts more freely, and you bless money, you appreciate money, you feel grateful for money, you expect money, you welcome money. You see money as your friend and your servant rather than as your master or your enemy. Many people have a conflicted relationship with money. They want it, but they resent it. They desire it, but they feel guilty about desiring it. They need it, but they speak badly of it. And this internal conflict creates a barrier that prevents money from flowing to them. For you cannot attract what you reject. You cannot receive what you resent. You cannot manifest what you criticize. And if you want money to flow to you easily and effortlessly, you must first make peace with money. You must release all negative feelings about money. You must cleanse your consciousness of any beliefs that money is bad or that wanting money is wrong. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she always felt uncomfortable around wealthy people, that she secretly judged them as shallow or greedy. And Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that this judgment was actually a judgment against wealth itself, that she was pushing money away by pushing away wealthy people, and that she must learn to bless those who have prospered, to be happy for their success, to see their wealth as proof that abundance is available to all. And when she changed her attitude toward the wealthy, her own wealth began to increase. Every time you say this sentence with feeling, every time you affirm, "I am a magnet for money," money flows to me easily and effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources. And I now decree that this is true in my life. You are sending out a vibration, a frequency, a signal into the universe, and this signal is picked up by the law of attraction, which brings back to you people, circumstances, ideas, and opportunities that match your vibration. For everything in the universe is energy. Everything is vibration, and you are a broadcasting station constantly sending out signals through your thoughts and feelings. And the universe is constantly responding to these signals by bringing you experiences that correspond to what you are broadcasting. If you are broadcasting lack, you receive lack. If you are broadcasting struggle, you receive struggle. If you are broadcasting abundance, you receive abundance. For this is law. This is how the universe operates. And you can prove it to yourself by observing your own life and noticing how your external circumstances always match your internal state. When you change your internal state, when you shift your vibration from poverty to prosperity, from lack to abundance, from struggle to ease, your external circumstances must change accordingly, not because you are manipulating reality, but because you are aligning yourself with a different aspect of reality. You are tuning your consciousness to a different frequency, and at that frequency, different things exist. Different possibilities are available. Different opportunities present themselves. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he did not understand how thoughts could affect physical reality, how mental activity could influence material circumstances. And Dr. Murphy explained that thoughts are things, that everything begins in mind, that every invention, every building, every accomplishment first existed as a thought before it became a physical reality, and that the thoughts you think about your finances are creating your financial reality just as surely as an architect's thoughts create a building. And when the man understood this principle, when he saw that his thoughts were the blueprint from which his life was being constructed, he became very careful about what he allowed himself to think. The universe is abundant, infinitely abundant. There is no shortage in the universe, no scarcity in creation, no lack in the infinite storehouse of supply, and the only place lack exists is in human consciousness, in the minds of people who have accepted false beliefs about limitation, who have been taught that there is not enough, that they must struggle and compete, that some must be poor so that others can be rich. But these are lies. These are illusions. These are false beliefs that have no foundation in truth. For the universe is not a closed system with limited resources. The universe is an open system with infinite resources, constantly expanding, constantly creating, constantly pouring forth new supply. When you say, "I am a magnet for money," you are acknowledging this infinite supply. You are opening yourself to the flow of universal abundance. You are removing the barriers that have kept you in lack. And these barriers are not external. They are internal. They are the beliefs, the fears, the doubts, the judgments that have created walls around your consciousness and prevented the natural flow of prosperity from reaching you. Your work is not to create prosperity. Prosperity already exists. Your work is to accept prosperity, to open yourself to prosperity, to allow prosperity to flow to you. And you do this by changing your consciousness, by transforming your beliefs, by speaking words of truth instead of words of limitation. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had always been taught that there was not enough to go around, that if she prospered, someone else would suffer. And Dr. Joseph Murphy asked her if she thought the ocean became depleted when one person filled a bucket with water, if the air became scarce when one person took a breath. And she realized that abundance is like the ocean and the air, infinite and inexhaustible, and that her prosperity did not diminish anyone else's prosperity, but actually increased the prosperity of all by demonstrating the availability of infinite supply. When you affirm this powerful sentence, you are also activating the creative power of your imagination, for the subconscious mind thinks in pictures, in images, in feelings, and when you say, "I am a magnet for money," you should also imagine money coming to you. See it in your mind's eye, feel it in your hands, picture checks arriving, visualize bank account balances increasing, imagine unexpected income, see yourself living in the abundance you desire. And these mental images, combined with the words and the feeling, create a complete impression upon the subconscious mind. A total experience of wealth that the subconscious accepts as real and proceeds to reproduce in your outer world. Your imagination is the workshop where you create your future. It is the laboratory where you experiment with possibilities. It is the preview room where you see tomorrow's reality today. And whatever you can imagine and feel as real, the subconscious mind can and will bring into manifestation, for imagination is the scissors of the mind. It cuts the pattern. It shapes the form. It determines the mold into which universal substance pours itself. Do not imagine lack. Do not picture poverty. Do not visualize struggle. For these mental pictures are instructions to your subconscious mind, and it will faithfully create what you have imagined. But imagine wealth. Picture prosperity. Visualize abundance. See yourself living in financial freedom. Feel the joy of having more than enough. Experience in your imagination the reality you desire, and do this consistently, repeatedly, persistently, until the imagined reality becomes more real to you than your present circumstances. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he could not visualize clearly, that when he tried to picture money coming to him, his mind went blank. And Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that visualization is like any skill. It improves with practice, and that even if he could only get a vague sense or feeling of prosperity, that was enough. The important thing was the feeling, the conviction, the acceptance in consciousness, and that he should not strain or force the visualization, but simply allow himself to dwell on the feeling of having his financial needs met. And as the man practiced this daily, his ability to visualize improved, and his financial situation improved along with it. You must also guard your conversations. You must watch your words. You must be careful what you say about money and about your financial situation, because every word you speak is an affirmation. Every statement you make is a prayer. Every conversation is an act of creation. And if you constantly complain about lack, if you regularly discuss your financial problems, if you habitually speak words of poverty, you are affirming poverty. You are praying for lack. You are creating more of what you do not want. This does not mean you pretend your challenges do not exist or lie about your situation. It means you refuse to give power to negative conditions by constantly talking about them. You refuse to magnify your problems by dwelling on them in conversation. You refuse to reinforce lack by speaking lack, and instead you speak words of faith, words of expectation, words of prosperity, and you talk about the good that is coming to you. You discuss your financial goals as though they are already accomplished. You share your vision of abundance rather than your experience of limitation. When someone asks how you are doing financially, instead of launching into a litany of complaints, you say, "I am doing well, I am prospering, I am grateful for my many blessings," and this is not false. This is not denial, this is truth spoken from a higher level of consciousness. This is faith expressing itself in words, and these words reinforce your prosperity consciousness and help to manifest the prosperity you are claiming. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that her family constantly talked about money problems at the dinner table, constantly complained about bills and expenses, constantly focused on what they did not have, and she asked how she could maintain a prosperity consciousness in such an environment. And Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that she could not control what others said, but she could control what she said, that she could choose not to participate in negative conversations, that she could quietly affirm the truth to herself, even while others were speaking lack, and that if she held to her own prosperity consciousness firmly enough, eventually her example would influence her family, and they would begin to change their own thinking and speaking patterns. And this is exactly what happened.